therefore that will be the core area of emphasis. And on that, from there, we will be drawing more values as far as the B2B meetings are concerned. Right? Please, I would request you to put a note in TMF with your name in it, giving this particular suggestion, because your suggestions are critical. Thank you.
So I request Yatish sir to introduce our speakers for the day.
Thank you. Today I'm going to read out introduction of our resource speaker, Mr. Mahesh Deosthale. So I'd like to welcome everyone. Since they are all gentlemen, I wish that ladies are watching from online broadcast. So I say that welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to introduce Mr. Mahesh Deosthale, the founder, advisor, and a trainer at Sharva Group. With over 3 decades of experience in the IT industry, he has worked with the global tier 1 IT services provider and delivered successful projects across BFSI, insurance, manufacturing, and FMCG sector. His expertise spans software architecture, risk and compliance management, project and program leadership, data privacy, and service management. He is a Prince 2 approved trainer, ISO lead auditor, GDPR DPO. He will explain what is the terminology, and agile coach and certification from the UK, USA, and Europe. In 2024 alone, Mr. Deosthale delivered over 100 training batches, built international partnership, and published his third book on Prince 2 practitioner certification. He has trained professionals at organizations like KPMG, Volkswagen, IT, Tata Technologies, and Marico. Today, his mission is to empower leaders, professionals, and students to embrace innovations and optimize systems and become truly industry ready. So, please join me in welcoming Mr. Mahesh Deosthale.
Thank you, sir. And I was considering on 1st of September I touched 50. So I was considering I have a lot of experience. I don't, and this meeting happens to tell me that. Thank you for inviting me. Thanks to Anjali. Actually, one of my senior colleagues in Medicare, Vivek Prakash from Thane, he knows Anjali and he introduced me, and that's how I'm here. And like to be part of this forum, so I'll talk with you, sir, later. Right? Okay. So yes, I got multiple opportunities. I consider myself as a very fortunate person. I got opportunities to travel and work to US multiple times, UK, Singapore, South. And I was able to absorb the culture there. As just before this meeting, we were discussing. So I have seen US from the ground level what the world is seeing now at a global platform, how they behave and how they treat the others across the globe. So I have seen that on the ground, and it's the same story. So I moved back to India, and after spending around 22, 23 years in the global scenario, working with the Credit Suisse and the Bank of America, Lloyds Bank, etc. clients, I decided to explore what is happening at my home. So here I got again some good opportunities, and a couple of years back I decided to quit my corporate. Something that corporate nonsense was there. They completely spoiled. But then thankfully there are good friends like my coach Anand Patel, Rajneesh, and there are so many good people around me. And once again, I'm very fortunate. So I started working for Indian clients and people around. So one of my clients is here in the next IT park, Opal, right? So many of them are here around. So when I quit 2 years back, the question was, what do I do? And my mother, she was a teacher. My father, who was with postal services, Indian postal services, but he used to take the tuitions. So again, teaching. And then I realized it's in my blood. So I don't call it as teaching. I always say I'm sharing my experiences because that's what I can do. So I started doing that. I don't know. So any of the project management space, they oh, okay. He is my mentor, and I'm his coaching student for last 18 years plus. Okay. So small world. Small world. Right. So I am the approved trainer for this institute from People Sir, the body which owns it. And just today I got the endorsement badge from them for my third book, which Rajni is published. So again, it's a very small work. And so yes, project management, risk management. I got myself ISO certified, lead auditor certified. I do deliver these trainings. I do the transactions. So that's what I do. And on the other side, I am associated with Thane ATM Management College. I was working as a visiting faculty there. Now I don't, but I'm still on their board of studies. And I'm associated with Somaya College. My wife is again a professor there, so that's kind of a close association with Somaya. I'm an alumni as well. So here to learn, here to share some of my experiences, and looking forward for very close engagements with all of you. The areas of interest for me is right. So today I had a word with Anjali and she asked me, what can I talk about? So I said project management or IT risk management should be the good areas, and then we decided I'll talk about the IT risk management best practices. Okay. I am certified in ISO 31000 in NIST and MOR as well. So risk management is another area. I always keep on exploring, and the more I explore, I find it more interesting. And there are more things which can be done because it's completely dynamic in whatever my experience is, any risk management. So today, let's do this thing. Let's look into some IT specific risk management things. We'll talk about what is happening currently. Then I'll talk about the 3 key frameworks across the industry. And then some of the essential practices when it comes to IT risk management. So just a point here, I'll be focusing on IT because I'll not address for 30 minutes. And then there are some tools techniques. Which again, I'm very sure you all must have heard about it, worked it extensively also. So let's see how it goes. I would request to keep it very open, interactive. Like if you find any point of time this is what all known, then probably we can get into some different discussions also. So I'm completely open for any change. Slides are just there for reference purpose, not to be followed very seriously. Okay, right. So when we talk about IT, what are the areas, risk areas in IT? Of course, being a business, financial risk, human resources or human capital related risk, that's a common thing that will definitely be there. But in terms of the IT, the key focus is information and risks associated with securing that information. And that's what they say, and they've been saying this for so many years. Information is the currency. Your data is your currency, right? So even today, when somebody says about IT risk, eventually it comes down to information security related risks. Right? So these are some of the recent risk failures or risk management failure examples. So UPI disruption, this happened in March to August, and I believe everyone here must have faced this. Right? UPI transactions were not working, and then somebody was saying the bank server, your bank server is down, and then the auto wala says, "Nahi, aapka bank server down ho gaya." That was actually an outage and disruption in the UPI, at the UPI. Then there was this Gujarat High Court, they received an extortion mail and threatened the data leak, this thing. But fortunately nothing happened much, but that also disturbed the High Court working for several days. Then I think this was very much in the news. West Bengal State Police Cybercrime Week, they reported data center handling sensitive investigations, vendor claimed ransomware. Okay. So this was the risk which particularly came or got inducted through the vendor. Right? So it has nothing to do with this CCW's systems, but it was introduced through the vendor systems. Then the Star Health data breach, Zen claimed to have leaked 7.5 terabytes of sensitive personal and medical data. Then Wazirex also, I don't know how many of you are on Wazirex, but this was also in news for their risk traders. And Nippon Life India. And again, everybody knows this Microsoft incident, right? This the entire aviation and networks across the globe, right? So these are kind of the cases at a national level, international level. And if we look into these disruptions, they all relate back to the information security. At some point of time, it was compromised at different levels. This landscape is such huge because see, it's the software which may be malfunctioning. It could be the hardware, the infrastructure thing. It could be the network wherein it may get attacked. Right? So it's not one thing, and because the technology is evolving every day, the risk avenues, they are like the hackers, they are getting it every day something new. Right? These are some of the stats in the news, like as what they are saying. So average, and this is only about India. So average breach cost in India also is 220 million. Now, what is happening currently in India is, if we look at the industry, then it is only the large enterprises, large corporates, multinationals. They are aware, they are taking some action to prevent this kind of incidents. But the entire MSME sector is completely, it feels like they are unaware about, acha, aisa kuch ho bhi sakta hai. Right? And the risk about the data loss is more for MSME sector. Right? But then, I work with some of the MSMEs, and when I talk with them about putting some countermeasures on their infrastructure or on their servers, everybody feels like, hey, this is the last priority. When we get SMS, we turn on the wing. So even we get SMS, we turn on the wing. So even within the general public, B2C, there is no awareness, and the MSME sector is also minimally aware about what is at stake.
Question is that since you mentioned, this, have you tried, generally speaking, in the
Cyber. They have 3 patented products for in the space of cyber security. Anti-ransomware, then they have something for file management system and server infrastructure. And so when I partnered with them, I started exploring the market, what could be the opportunity. This, even these bodies, they are working at a very high level. Maybe I may even dare to say, they are working at a very superficial level. Right? At a ground level, or so when I tell them that this software license will be like $8 per person per month, then that becomes a huge cost. Okay, we have our whatever the basic minimum things required, and we are happy. One of the startups which I'm working for last 5 years, that's a basic startup in India, and they have their entire SaaS setup on AWS. Around 3 years back, we started getting the email from our own mailboxes, clearly indicating there is some intruder sitting in our systems. Now this startup has not picked up yet, so there is no money to mint from them. this intruder is sitting there for last 3 years, in spite of multiple time advising for a full-fledged EAPT. The founder has absolutely said, is saying like, right now it's not the time, we don't have money, so, and the risk of data loss is also minimal because we haven't yet started, we don't have the volume of the data, etc., etc. So we'll not go there. So that is the kind of the mindset I see in the industry, especially the MSME. But against that, when I work with say organizations like Marico Industries, so we did one project, but that was for project management. But we worked with them. So now what I understand is they have very, I would say, robust and good setup. But then again, that becomes the large enterprise where they can spend money on. So MSME sector, what I am looking around is they are struggling to find the value for the money that what they need to put in, and that's where that equation is not happening yet. But again, unfortunately, they are not realizing what is at stake.
Absolutely.
Okay. So if this is the case about the organizations, the enterprises, the MSMEs, wherein they have many tools at least to be aware about the risk that they are taking. For the general public, they are like koso dur hai. So this information related risk, information security related risk, we are so unaware about it. We walk into an exhibition, they give us some card, they say, put in your name, number and email address, and there is the prize you will win. We give it very happy. We don't know what happens.
Mahesh, if I can add something, we just mentioned about these exhibitions where people take our names. Believe it or not, you enter a parking lot, you are underground, and there is a security guy sitting there, and he says, "Aapka naam, number likho," and we very nicely write over there, without bothering where that register is going eventually.
Absolutely.
It's an open thing, So that's another risk, huge risk which people are not aware.
And in fact, in my ISO 27001 audits, what I have experienced is this register is there for company notes. Like whenever you want to enter into company premises, there will be register. So we specifically ask them, "Acha, ab batao, aage jaake kya karte ho?" Because we are the auditors. Now you tell me what? No, nothing. That register just lies there. Once it is filled up, it lies there in our storage or something. So nobody has any clue if that data gets shared ahead with somebody or not. It definitely gets shared because it carries value. Per record, it is being sold.
The worst scenario is with the courier guys.
The courier guys.
That is the huge data.
That is the huge data that they collect. And there are no measures, there are no mechanisms through systems which can prevent this.
We were asked to fill now at center.
Huh.
Yeah, exactly.
I also feel that.
I also thought, hopefully they have a robust system in place. Hopefully.
I think at least for concern like this, we should apply a psychology of having a mosquito around and protecting ourselves from the like a mosquito net, because mosquitoes will always be there.
Correct.
We have to protect ourselves through either from the mosquito nets or something.
Correct. But see,
Defense is the attack.
The way they design the systems, it becomes even difficult. Now, just below there, what they did, they asked to fill up the number, mobile number. Now, just to protect myself from this mosquito around, if I give some dummy number, it won't work because I get my QR. So those kind of things also will not work. And I tried it in my earlier days.
In the parking lot, I do try that. Because there
If
it
you
is
have to
not.
write it down, then that is still okay.
Absolutely.
That is still okay. Correct? Now, what happens is for these kind of things, the frameworks like ISO 27001, okay, that is all about information security risk management. Okay. So it actually suggests changes in the system. Right? But when it comes to making the changes in the
I think towards this, ask industry companies to start pulling in some money on a monthly basis, so that at some point in time it becomes good enough for them to get some Yeah, so because it's as a one-time cost, maybe it's very high for them.
Possibly.
And it's not a priority also because they are doing so many other things that they believe the business requires. So, but this is also a must. As we go along, more and more threats will come. More. So people like you who are in this business, etc., can you get a cluster of MSMEs together and say, okay, fine, keep
Possibly.
spend some money in on a monthly basis. You talked about $8 per man per month.
Per month.
Story, right?
Right.
Now, so $8 for every employee may not be possible,
But at least some of the
for a
employees,
group of the
yes,
employees.
yes.
And then you start, so that at some point in time you can get 100% coverage.
What I have, definitely this is something worth trying, and I will talk with, I'll talk with Isa.
Like even today I invest by using my SIPs because I let it grow. If it grows, that kind of story.
Or the other way, what I just want to understand is it that the cost which hinders them? As you said, some of the clients do realize this is important, the
One time.
data risk is there.
Correct.
Even in spite of they think that they want to do it, but it is unaffordable.
Correct.
So can we think of in the other way to make it more cost effective? Because ultimately you need a volume.
That is what I am trying to work with this Canadian company, Cyberia. So when I partnered with them, their clients, Adani, Reliance, Axis Bank, 3 of their clients after opening an account in India. So I have initiated this dialogue with CEO there, saying here we have a huge MSME sector. So let's look into let's get into the volume game. So bring down that number from 8, maybe even if you can bring it down to say 3.5 even dollar. Still something can be done. If not 100, but at least 50, 30 MSMEs will get covered.
I was suggesting this, but what will happen is how you will get faster traction, better traction if you work with the Indian technology companies. For the simple reason that you want your data to be inside the country,
Exactly.
not outside the country. So if you have a Gora man coming from there, you will have sort of access issues. And at some point in time, the government will get up. So at this stage, if you do that,
The government is already awake about this. DPDPA is in force now.
yeah.
So way back in 2015, 2016, European Commission, EC, they actually implemented this GDPR, Global Data Privacy Regulation. That is applicable to all the EU residents. So any EU resident or UK resident, if they are traveling to any country around the globe and their information gets collected, let's say some Gora comes here, checks in the hotel, his information is collected. Now it is a binding on this hotel, local hotel in India to store this information, to preserve this and to delete it if the customer says so. And then they have to give the evidence that we have deleted this information.
Now, one more idea comes, we have the health insurance, life insurance. But when we think of actually cyber frauds, every time there is no insurance only.
There is no issue.
And is it because that there is no money in this? Because business will look up, this is one point, it is not there. Second thing is government, whether it is the Maharashtra state or government of India, just for the MSME, you have to, they are supplying so many people. So right now we say US का ये problem, there are so many jobs to go. So when such a thing attacks are occurring, whether government can give them and subsidize it, that is second point. Another third point is companies, big companies like Tata Group, Reliance, and so many. So they are hospitals, health and everything, cancer hospitals, they are doing it. But whether they are trust, we can contribute for something for MSME. Because MSME, everything is they are supplying them. The supply chain or whatever chain is there, they are giving to the bigger one. So whether such can be integrated, like some ideas can
Insurance, yes, can be
Something
thought
like-
of.
And just to add nowadays, under the heading of suppose someone is suing me, legal expenses and all that. Under the heading of that, nowadays the insurance are available to at least under the heading of the business continuation plan or the full loss or partial loss. They consider this kind of thing as an insurance.
Increasing the scope or bringing the larger threats under insurance scheme will still remain a challenge for at least few more years. It's not going to be that easy. The thing is, see, whether somebody likes it or not, as Indians, we are still not product minded. We are still service minded, right? Second is, we don't know from where the threat is coming. So how many doors I can cover, that always remains a challenge. Right? Third thing is, when the loss happens, the amounts can be really huge. So, see, its average is 220 million. So again, any insurance company and including the government, they will be really scared, or they don't want to take this kind of a hit. So though yes, the idea per se is valid, but then implementing that will take much longer.
Yeah. Is it possible, now the CSR fund, for example, okay, can IT company themselves subsidize this particular industry? Say, for example, TCS, you are reporting huge profits, right, out of which you are contributing certain, that contribution itself, 3% or 4%, whatever, of a profit, it's also a huge. Like that, there will be hundreds and thousands of IT companies. If a cartel is formed, something like that, and they subsidize these particular products to attract the MSME, to make it more affordable. See, ultimately it is awareness which needs to be generated. Simple example, look at the money spent on iPhone. People spend it, one way to look at it is the security of data, right? So over a period of time, the affordability of the Indians have also gone up, right, as compared to the other. So same way, same logic, if the IT companies are encouraging such activities through the CSR fund to subsidize this, I think it will become a more popular.
Long back, I remember this was discussed, and the thought came in like, because these IT companies, they are part of building this antivirus or security solutions, they know how much it will function, and that's why they didn't want to put their money on it.
I think taking forward this, what I feel is either anything like information security kind of things should happen in every premises. Only two or three things can be possible. Either that particular business owner or the director boards feels that it is required, first thing first. Second is like a violation of this data protection act and consequences of it is either monetary or let's say image or brand devaluation basis. Or what government can do at least is, suppose एक 4 करोड़ का कंपनी है तो इतना परसेंट लाइक 10% of 2% or 5% of the allocations must have to be there for this kind of thing.
At least as far as I know, there is no such allocation there.
नहीं, that has supposed to happen.
Second point, what you said is high level of penalties. Okay. So this DPDPA, which is now in force, it says more than 100% of your annual, like last reported annual revenue could be your penalty. If I'm running a company and I have the data of say 1 million people, the data which happens, I lose half of that data or full of that data, then the kind of the penalty I will get is more than 100% of my last year's pay. So the penalty is huge. But again, at least in India, this DPDPA got enforced at the beginning of this year. नहीं, वो डिक्लेयर हुआ, उसका पेपर वर्क हुआ, वो पास हुआ वगैरह, वो सब बहुत पहले हुआ. But the actual enforcement of that act is starting just now. So, but 2025 में चालू हुआ है. So people are yet not aware. Those who are aware about, अच्छा, there is some act like this and I may get heavy penalties, they have no clue how I can get, how I can protect my systems and the data that which I am handling.
But I think his point can be taken from the larger context. When he spoke about CSR, maybe not the IT companies in particular, but I think it's an excellent suggestion from the larger perspective of overall. That is where I think a dent.
Okay, Kelkar sir. Thank you so much.
Actually, even I think it has started also. HDB Securities, I think HDFC Securities have hugely penalized in very recent manner. They have started,
but then,
dents had already started happening.
correct. That has started happening. Like government has started asking, but again, what government is doing is they are looking at the big fish, because they also want to set the example. तो वो नीचे जाके कुछ percolate होगा. So by that time it happens, it is definitely going to take another couple of years. So number of cyber incidents, 8 cases per hour. That's the average of first half. Of course, this includes the B2C, like individual cases also, but still, look at the number. And then all these cases are like.
Yeah, or we can have like GST. Now GST is very much in the news. Mahol mein hai, हाँ, mahol mein hai. So like that we can have such a standard or something, government. It is everybody's money, जो कि बैंक है, everything is under threat. So government itself should put it and use that funds. The government say हमारे पास पैसा नहीं है, we have so many things. So they can put some 1% or something on transaction, like UPI or something. Or I don't know, they are saying कि UPI में transaction fees देगा. So ये लाके जितना ज़्यादा transaction more amount होता है, somewhere you put a tax and use that funds for security. Somewhere you can.
2% educational. Government collects so many here. It is not going into education, but
Somewhere, yeah.
Yes, I think definitely I'm noting it down mentally.
okay, fine.
This some ideas. Yeah. So these are some of the top ranked IT vectors. So IT risk vectors. Phishing and social engineering, it results into the databases. Third-party vendor compromise. Now, what happens is, again, there's one of my clients. This client is Pune-based company, 25 years into IT. They have their product platforms. Some US clients, a lot of Indian clients. Now, imagine 25 years old IT company, and they were completely ignorant about any such security aspects, formal security aspects. In 2022, after following them for a year or more than a year, their US client said, if you want to continue business with us, you will have to get yourself ISMS accreditation, 27001 accreditation, ISO 27001 accreditation. Still, they delayed it for next 9 to 10 months. And when the push came to show, they finally got themselves accredited. That was part of their entire accreditation process. I had to push them to get the things done in the proper way. Even for ISO certifications, there are so many malpractices. Like I can get ISO 9001 plus certification, which is a must for manufacturing setup, for 1,500 rupees. Nobody will question, nobody will come, nobody will look, no audit, nothing. Even there are certain organizations which are operating at a global level as a certifying body. They can give 27,001 certificate and 15,000. Oh yeah. So this is when I look at this whole thing, it is something that every individual and every individual organization needs to understand what is it that I am putting on stake. If I don't do this.
But then, as a customer, as I come from purchase background. So nowadays, what is happening is, as a customer, when I am procuring from any of the vendor, it's my duty to check what system they are using. It's like this certificates, ISO certificate. What means this is the experience. We have exactly, because they easily give us all certificates from whichever ways they have collected it from their company. But then it's our duty to check whether it is validated. We have to validate it. We are validating it. Not only the certificate validation, but the body which has given them this certificate, whether that body is authorized to give the certificate as well.
So you
That
cross-check the
yeah,
credentials.
exactly.
Correct.
And we have found there are many certificates which are
Fake.
the other authority is not authorized to give the certificate.
I have a
Oh.
question on this, actually.
Yes.
See, well, if suppose such kind of malpractices are happening, like someone is offering a fake certificates or not so worthy certificate, then like a CA, if someone's CA is doing something for some customer and he is procuring and preparing and procuring all this accountancy books, so if suppose that is fraudulent or misleading information, then that CA is also equally or partially responsible for such certification.
Yes.
So what he is certifying.
Here it doesn't happen because many of these bodies, they are abroad. Like they are headquartered, they are based outside India. So nobody takes efforts to follow them up or put some legal action against them, etc. Right? Not only that, you can validate the certificate, but ISO says as a customer, you can audit them.
Yeah. That we do.
Correct. Well, you can
The
go and you can run a full audit.
So we first do this check.
Correct.
And if it falls under or is okay, then we go to means we
One
have
step
a point making going personally there and auditing them.
Correct.
Because if there is no documentary evidence and we are personally going there, and so on one day audit we cannot.
Yes, in one day audit. But then ISO has a provision called as second party audit, which clearly gives the
Because all these audits are plan audits.
yes, all these audits are.
So पूरा makeup करके बैठते हैं.
Yeah, that's all good.
So we got now in one of my audits, the bank, we will not take the name of the bank, but the bank, those guys were showing us all the printed papers. Okay. And this is, so I like, okay, this report fine printed, this is fine printed. And I asked them, boss, I'm here for your ISMS. You don't give me only the reports, those are also printed. Show me the system. Half of them, those reports were not on the system. Excel में बना के printer पे चिपका दिया. So that was a big issue. Then later on it happened. Right? This also is possible. So yes, then as a customer you have that right. You can go and you can do the second party audit as what ISO calls. So this third party vendor compromises is, if you look at it by number, this is very high in India. Software vulnerabilities is not that great unless the company starts using some unknown source to softwares. Because as I said, we are not product mindset people. We are using the products from somewhere else. So this is still a little lesson. Ransomware, this also currently in India, it is happening only at a social engineering level more, rather than the ransomware attacks. But it happens again in 2016 or 2017. I was working with Cognizant, and Cognizant was like a lot of data was held as a ransom. I believe Cognizant finally had to pay around $500 million and then settle that. The entire episode was running 26 days, and we were getting all the inside feel of what is happening there in UK headquarters and US offices. So yes, it is
Very recent attack has happened on Parel railway Parel workshop. So they want to bring down the all Parel workshops automation process, so that the maintenance workshops of all these locomotive trains and all this supposed to come to an end.
completely.
Yes.
And then, even it is very difficult, and there are no good means to measure how much was the loss. Because if now this kind of Parel workshop goes down, it is so difficult to even measure what was the loss.
And even if it at the end of the day, even if it is not a monetary loss maybe,
It may
but
not be monetary.
the social
Number of
chaos
hours
will,
lost
what
and-
social chaos will happen, that is
Absolutely,
costing
absolutely.
very much.
And now imagine this
Yes.
AI, artificial intelligence. This is adding a nightmare for security professionals. So there are two types of CISOs. One who loses his hair absolutely overnight, one who doesn't even pay attention and enjoying his sea so tight. But then, this AI, it has penetrated so fast and so deep in our lives, and nobody cares how much risk it is creating. My son, 10 years old, class 5. उसके स्कूल में sport.org पे they teach them some coding, correct? This guy today developed some code and I'll do this, that, and then said me saying, I'll upload this now on some platform he mentioned, and I'll ask that AI platform to test my code. And I said, why you want to upload it there? Once you upload it, it becomes like the data, the information goes there. What you करना है? So this AI has actually penetrated very bad, and nobody is, so people are not able to grasp the depth of it.
I was just to add encourage. Recently, my senior has told me a very funny incident. If it is funny also, it is scary also. Is that कि 3 लोग हैं, 3 लोग ने एक बॉस का डीप फेक बनाया, एम्प्लॉय को कॉल किया, सपोज एक वेंडर है, वेंडर का भी फोटोग्राफ्स एंड एवरीथिंग वाज, जो नोन वेंडर है उसका लिया, उसका आईडी है, दे आर कनेक्टेड इन जूम मीटिंग with the deep fake of the boss. Vendor only employee is genuine. बॉस एम्प्लॉय को बोलता है कि ये वेंडर को इतना इशू कर दे, पीओ हम लोगों ने ऑलरेडी रेज किया, अगेंस्ट दैट पीओ यू जस्ट रिलीज सम अमाउंट. एंड द वेरी रीसेंट, जस्ट 2 दिन पहले का है कि कनाडा में एक केस हुआ है कि एक लोनली बच्चा हु इज इंटरेक्टिंग विद एआई, ही हैज, मतलब he was so lonely, started find emotional bondage with AI, and finally he was on the verge of suicidal behavior. He has made suicide. AI has written a suicide note for him, and now his parents are suing that AI company.
And AI is also building a posture of how it needs to. Yeah.
कितनी बार सब ऐप जब इंस्टॉल करते हैं, यस 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 नेक्स्ट करके हाँ बोल देते हैं, कितने सारे चीज़ों को हम हाँ बोलते हैं, हमको पता भी नहीं.
You all have noticed, if you access something related to SBI, immediately you get a call.
As I mentioned to you, it's between 5:30 to 7:30 is the overall time. And so, I mean, there are 2 ways of doing it. One is the one which we have done it, and there's been a lot of to and fro, a lot of questions, which is very interesting. The only issue with that would be that how do you manage the time?
No, that's
So
okay. I'll cut short about this theory part of it. Okay, I think this discussion was very interesting.
A lot of solutions also came out.
So what is happening around in this industry is there are risk management frameworks. There are different risk management frameworks. Out of that, I have taken only 3. I specifically, those who are aware about COVID, I did not go into the COVID thing. That's really very vast one. So I'm going with this 3. The first one is ISO 31000. Now this is something non-certified. The company can say, I am ISO 27001 certified. So accreditation hai mere paas. But this is non-certifiable. But still, this plays a very vital role in the overall risk management. And when it comes to IT, it is almost everything about revolves around information security risk management. But this also can be applied at the enterprise level. So even my financial risk, even my material risk, inventory risk, procurement risk, human related risk, all those risks can be managed using this framework. So this is I would say construct or the structure of the framework. Well, let's not get into detail of that. The second one is the ISO 27000 family. Many of us are aware only about 27001, right? But this is the 27000 family which supports 27001. So companies get certified or accreditation for 27001. The rest are kind of the supporting This is 27701 is aligned with the GDPR and it is for the personal data management. So this is called as PIMS, Personal Information Management System. So this is again another standard. This could be of your interest, 27017 and 018, which is around the cloud and PI data in the public. And then the third one is the NIST. This is specifically for US. Okay. Both those ISOs, they are global. This is specifically for US, but this is highly, I would say, practiced framework or adopted framework across US. And okay, this is the construct. So there are 20 control families as what they say, and under these control families or control categories, if you can call it as, there are around 500 plus controls. So what these controls are? Controls are nothing but the actions that the enterprise is supposed to take so that the information will remain secure. Right? So there are these 20 families or categories under which there are 500 plus controls. So this is again a de facto standard in US. Okay, I'll come to quiz, but yeah, let's quickly touch this. So what are the essential practices if we want to mitigate this or manage this risk, control this risk? First, management committee. Management need to understand what is at stake, how badly the business can suffer, and they need to commit people. Many times I have seen companies say, "Hey, this is my CISO," and when you look at the CISO, wo bechara code review kar. That kind of things also happen. So management really needs to put commitment in terms of people, in terms of money, in terms of time, because they will appoint people. They will say this is my infosec team, but then that team will end up doing something else. So the management commitment, then governance and framework. Many companies and even large scale companies also, they will say that hey, we have this, then they will copy paste some of the practices, processes from somewhere else. They will not put the governance and framework. Once in 3 years, they will get ready for 27001 audit. Baki surveillance audit chala lo jaise under the ram sir. So they need to put the governance framework, because CISO is a CXO level position, DPO is a CXO level position. Both these positions they can sit on the table, right? So that seriousness, that governance, and the right framework for them. There are so many frameworks, right from this 21,000, 27,001, NIST, COVID, this, that. There are so many things. Which are the right frameworks at what right point of time? And then you need to invest your efforts there. Then this is like my risk identification. Most of the times, I do a lot of risk management training. Whenever I ask the participants to write your top 3 risks, everybody by default will say people quitting. That is on top of their mind. No cost approvals from the management. That is the second one. So, okay, those are the risks. Yes, I understand. But then you need to identify the right risks for you. Just just blaming, okay, my boss is not giving me people, is not going to help you. You have to come up with those ground level risks which will make an impact on the business, present it to your boss, and then the boss will understand. Then the commitments will be made. If you just keep on shouting, I don't have people, nothing is going to happen. So yes, I do spend a lot of efforts in making my participants realize that this is something very important. And then integration with business. Many times these activities I have seen they run in parallel as a standalone thing. Business takes priority, right? But then while your business is taking priority, or the risk that you are taking it, you have to mitigate that by putting your business integrated with your risk management. And then when you execute, you have to have a lot of the tools or the techniques in place which will help you better analyze, better understand the threats that you are dealing with. So these are some of it. This is a matrix which gives some of the techniques which can be used at the different stages of the risk management life cycle. So this is my risk: define and context, identify threats, prioritize, assess. So that is my risk management life cycle, and these are the techniques. Just across says that okay, this can be applied here, here, here. So this is a very simple risk score matrix. What are your threats? All the red parts, you should have a very solid mitigation plan, budgets committed. Your full focus should be on the red. Green ones are okay, acceptable risk. I can take it, I can go ahead. Then this is the other way to show it in the terms of this what do you call the circles or the balloons. Yeah. And then yeah, so this is risk is not. In my personal opinion, every risk manager and every senior person in the organization should understand that whatever the controls you put, there are some risks which are going to cross that everything, and they are going to happen as incidents. You are just trying to reduce this number which reaches here. See, you are putting some engineering controls, secure code practices, penetration test, and this and that. Okay, some administrative controls, no toll getting, tailgating policy and clean desk policy. Okay, your behavioral controls, you will try to make the employees aware, but that happens once in a year. That is again a sad story. That is actually absolutely a sad story. But then there will be some risk which will cross all these barriers, and then there will be. So every manager and every seniors in the organization should understand this and then prepare for what is going to come to all. Then this is Jory window. Again, this is a very common management technique, can be applied to risk management also. I just try to keep it simple, very short.
2 slides backwards where you showed that yeah, this one. Real life incident of without naming corporations where you
Boeing. Boeing. Yeah.
Boeing is an excellent one. I was thinking of the Indian Tata Nano from a very different perspective. In terms of you have the vehicle coming out at one end, and then you have a whole huge MIS coming in, and then the information was not filtering in properly, and that's why you had a lot of issues with the vehicle. So
correct. They had to recall also.
Yeah, safety factors and whatnot. So a whole lot of issues that.
Correct. So they must have deployed some engineering controls, some administrative, some behavioral, all those things.
Mix of all of these actually, because the safety, the metal gauge was weak, not to be able to withstand.
Of a certain speed number they used
So
to.
the impact and then the car caught fire. And then
What they say is they marketed as a low cost product, and that failed because the people started identifying nano as a very high. That is what they happened. So
marketing strategy as works inversely.
Inversely.
Inverse. So उल्टा हो गया, low cost है करके, but at some point of time, as you said, no, you have made a thicker plate and improvements in the safety, driving comfort, so थोड़ा करके then they should have changed it.
Even threat, in case of automobile industry, the threat is more now because companies like Tesla and many of the companies are not selling their cars as cars, they are selling it as a system, a complete system.
Here's the point to make.
Yeah, see the vision for Nano was something like this. What happened was one day our late Ratan Tata was traveling in a car, in his particular car, whatever, and he found that when the rains were on, he found that two-wheeler people comprising of a man driving it, a child in front of the man probably sitting or standing, his wife probably at the back, then 2 more children at the back, and a child in between the wife and the, probably wife, I don't know, between the wife and the man. So he said, oh my God, this is not the way to travel, this is not the way, can I give him a better thing? So yeah, so he was probably trying to kill that industry and give them the small car for them to travel. From there, the vision itself was an absolutely wrong vision. That was the demise of the starting demise of the product. this nano calling and nano calling is a small car, it's all absolute bullshit. But my vision itself was wrong. How can we replace the two-wheeler? The two-wheeler is something which everybody loves. Today if we look back, every house has got one four-wheeler car and three two-wheeler cars, two-wheeler things. The wife, the daughter, the son, everybody uses the two-wheeler on an urgent basis, go and do some grocery work and come back. So the vision was a lost vision. This is my viewpoint, and I put it in a document somewhere and I sent it in as well.
Yeah, that
Today,
was a.
today, if you look at an EV car, today there was EV car, there's some on the this thing on the WhatsApp. It says one lady, the short came there. The one person who drive the car, it's an EV car, okay, EV. The one person driver seat is there and partially autonomous, and there are two people who can sit at the back. So you could have probably three people. You got two children, five of them. It's an EV car, small EV car. So that will probably work. Yeah.
So, EV cars, they also take your information.
Risk.
So,
Risk.
is that also a risk?
Sorry, can you come again?
EV vehicles
Uh-huh.
and the systems that are there, infotainment systems are there, they take all your data.
Yes.
So is that also a risk?
Yes, that is very, they must include into their systems your data privacy. That is there.
Anjali, just a real life example of that, what you said.
Uh-huh.
When Osama bin Laden, right?
Right.
When he was knocked out and the helicopter crashed. Just to give an example, that helicopter was destroyed deliberately.
So it is taking you everywhere and.
My nephew, as we speak, on Monday, autonomous vehicle. Their Monday, US, they actually took for the first time, he's working for a startup, they are coming up with this driver in the startup. For the first time, they took the car on the road and it was like, whatever the success parameters they had defined, they were able to achieve. I don't recollect the name, but yeah, that's a startup in US.
Yeah, but in US, they have discipline. If it comes to Indian company, I think
I stopped
They
driving.
need a fourth hand also, not तीन हाथ से not enough.
वो travel में हमारा पास आता है, उसको तीन हाथ बोलते हैं. So, but most of the data we should not really share.
No, that's a paradox. If I don't share the,
I
I
will
will not be able to utilize
If I aggregate data.
If I don't share the data, I will not be able to come to this lecture hall also.
Exactly.
Autonomous and that vehicle will drive that way. So you have to give the data. You have to give that.
In fact, it is applicable everywhere. Like even for me to enter into this premises, I have to give my data. For me to be able to use Gmail services, I have to give my data.
I remember previously the GPS was very popular before this infotainment. So people used to say that do not store as your home or office or this
Correct.
thing because of which they used to actually trace you what is your home and what is your office, and they used to
Correct.
trace your timings and all everything.
So I'll just give an example, very interesting experiment. There is this lady, Dr. Rakhi Vadhwani. She's a friend of mine. And she's the auditor, plus she's on the advisory committee for the cyber force central government. Okay, so there's some body like that, and she's the advisor for that. So what she did, she was traveling on a train, long journey, more than 15 hours. So she took 3 phones with her. One is wo simple wala, keypad wala. The second one, smartphone, but everything was shut off, aeroplane mode, wo chalu nahi hai. Right? And the phone was switched on, but no services accessible. And the third one is her regular phone, smartphone with all the services, location and this thing. Okay. She traveled and then she analyzed the data collected by these 3 phones in the travel window. This 15 hours ka travel window. Surprisingly, the keypad phone captured the highest amount of information. Then the smartphone, which was shut off, which was not using any services. It was the aeroplane mode. It collected the voice data which was in the surroundings. And then the third one which we use.
And next time she will be more surprised, even if she is carrying all the three phones, and even if she is both of the phones are off, even if all just by the sake of only one phone, she बाकी दोनों का data automatically मिल रहा है, considering her behavior.
Correct.
So the voice data is also collected.
Yes, even if our phone is switched off, the camera, the voice, it all functions. Because the clock under that functions. Now under the disguise of this clock functionality, they introduced all these functions also, which as a common man will never be able to understand.
I have experienced this. My phone was, means I was not using my phone or I have not searched anything. I was discussing with my friend about one of the car. And from next, when I use
Search
my,
onwards, you will get it.
yeah, means on Facebook or in Insta,
You will get it. Absolutely.
I started getting advertisements.
Absolutely.
I hear always this paradox that people say, "अरे मेरा data गया तो क्या जाने वाला है?" So how is that?
It's not only your data. You are compromising all the contacts in your list. 2 weeks back, I was.
So how is that data used then later on?
It can be used for anything. See, it is like something like manipulating yourself with offering the choice, lesser the choice, and a higher probability choice, so that you are almost like compelled your behavior, and you are being compelled, and you still feel that no, I have done it, I have purchased it.
He's citing some good example. Well, at least he's talking about selling something to you or to your contacts.
You were saying
your
something
data.
about 2 weeks back you were saying.
So I'll give that example. But your data and the data of your contacts can be used for some illegal work also. That is also possible, and people will pay for it.
Yeah, sometimes you get calls and nobody actually answers from the opposite side. Probably they are just copying our voice.
No, tomorrow, no. Understand the threat.
If your camera is functioning, if you get a what you call video call and if you answer it, that is captured.
और सिंपल एग्जांपल कि एक ओला ड्राइवर है जिसने आपसे ना कनेक्ट किया, एक दिन कनेक्ट किया, 2 दिन आपसे मतलब आप उस लेके गए, थर्ड टाइम ही विल विदाउट इवन रियलाइजिंग यू विल गेट द पॉप अप कि आप बोलोगे अरे हाँ ये तो पहले वाला ड्राइवर है, सो इट इज वेरी सेफ, यू फील दैट योर राइड इज बीन ऑलरेडी बीन रिकॉर्डेड, यू आर बीइंग यू आर ट्रैवलिंग विद सिक्योर्ड दिस थिंग एंड नथिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ इज देयर.
Last year for 6 months, every Tuesday and Wednesday I used to go to Malad, where the training हुआ करता था totally. From the second week onwards, whenever I use, whenever I opened Uber, वो पहला location वही आता है. If I open it on Tuesday or Wednesday, if I open it on Thursday or Friday ना, तो वो नहीं आएगा.
Exactly.
लेकिन अगर मैं while returning back, it shows me my home address as the first location. Where
I
to?
observed this very well.
Behavioral.
Home address ही पहले आएगा.
Behavioral tracking.
When you are not in the same location, what you have stored as a home address, वही पहले आएगा.
Old का data.
Behavioral tracking.
Behavioral tracking है.
Behavioral track करता है, correct?
Every Wednesday I get the same location first.
Correct. 2 weeks back, I was sitting in a meeting. I get a call. मुझे पता नहीं वो लड़की कौन है. She said, one of my friend has given me your. मतलब क्या हो गया? My phone is hacked. I said, okay, ठीक है. नहीं, she said, are you the cyber security professional? I said, okay, I'm not a professional. I said, but you tell me the incident, I can probably help you to connect with something. My phone is hacked. I said, that's what she was saying. And it's not only my phone, but my son's phone is also hacked. At the same time. कैसे हुआ? So I received a message. What was message? My husband was traveling on Air India, and I received a message. Your flight is delayed by whatever 2-3 hours. Simple message था. I opened it. वो अभी husband को travel कर रहा है in reality. तो I clicked on that. क्या हो रहा है? मतलब कितना late होगा देखने के लिए. And bang, phone was switched off.
She did not click that
Link or
for booking. The husband's phone is.
Exactly. That is one point she missed. Second thing is you have to remember, if you get any such thing, to please go to their official website. Don't click on the link in the message. नहीं है. This is what we are talking about, the common people. Unawareness. Correct. तो शी क्लिक, अभी उसका फोन का डेटा गया हैक हुआ, पूरा फोन हुआ शट ऑफ, वाइप ऑफ कंप्लीटली। बेटे का क्यों जाना चाहिए?
उसका कांटेक्ट
कांटेक्ट नहीं, दोनों के फोन पे सेम जीमेल आईडी कॉन्फ़िगर किया। Now you realize when you purchase a phone, especially the Android phone, you have to configure your Gmail ID to actually to make it work even with the basic services. वो तब तक देगा नहीं आपको आगे जाने के लिए. This is all unlawful. You cannot do that unless and until I as a user give the consent, then only you should take it. वो नहीं होता, वो system पे implemented नहीं, because and see, these companies they are making absolute benefit money out of this unawareness. तो उसका गया, इसका गया, उसका Gmail was hacked. So there was no source, and now we don't know till what level these guys have connected. From where did this come? This might have come from their laptop also, because the Gmail is configured on their laptop.
So all OTPs come there.
All OTPs come there. Now, I asked her to go and at least report it to the cyber cell. But cyber cell क्या करेगा इसमें?
सुनने में अजीब लगेगा, मतलब वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ऑल दिस कॉर्पोरेट थ्रेड। एक मतलब रिसेंट एक फैमिली कोर्ट में प्रोड्यूस हुआ, हस्बैंड वाइफ वांट्स टू हैव अ डिवोर्स, वो नहीं मिल रहा था ड्यू टू सम रीजन। वाइफ ने मतलब डिवोर्स लेने से पहले जस्ट एक काम किया कि जो उनकी सासू माँ थी उसके मोबाइल में एक ऐप इंस्टॉल किया, सो दैट शी विल कम, मतलब जो भी वो बात करती है, जो यू विल फाइंड इट फनी बट दिस इज नॉट फनी, एंड दैट इंसिडेंट जो भी रिकॉर्डिंग था वो कोर्ट में अगेंस्ट ये मतलब एज एन एविडेंस वो पेश हुआ। ये तो कॉर्पोरेट है, तो हम लोग मतलब घर की बात ये सब।
I hope court must have not admitted that, but possibly
Court admits it.
but
That will be a second case that
not
you did it
lawfully,
without any.
not lawfully informed will be
But
correct.
proof is a proof. Otherwise, how would even the detectives do it? With admits.
But is there anything mobile phone with brand we should inform अपना Samsung ले लो, थोड़ा safe है, तो अपना friend भी है, दूसरा जो अपना बड़ा neighbor है, और उसका नहीं है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है ना, वो थोड़ा सस्ता देता है, so generally people buy.
नहीं, जो सस्ता देता है वो always they create problem.
सस्ता रोए बार बार.
When anything is free, you are the customer.
I use Lenovo.
You are the product actually.
But then I realized this is not something what I would expect to happen in data sharing. So I stopped.
Would you disable iPhone?
So far, the best secure. So far, we don't know, but so far they are more secure than Android.
All your data is in America.
Yeah, that's understood.
That's right.
10,000 रहता है उसमें, तो इसको emergency के लिए ऐसा 10,000.
But
segregate.
but when I told this to my friend,
But
he's a
cash घर में, हाँ, cash घर में.
अरे नहीं भाई दूसरा
मेरे वाला पहुंच जाएगा.
TMF database से तुम्हारा address भी आ जाएगा.
डेल से अपना और अपना माइक्रोसॉफ्ट का जो सिस्टम है, डेल का अपना कंप्यूटर लैपटॉप है, इससे से करने का ऑटो ट्रांजैक्शन होने के बाद में इसका बंद कर देने का.
बंद करने का keep on clearing the history, have the antivirus. With
एंटीवायरस भी मैं देता है 1 से 3 years 1500 देके एंटीवायरस करता है, वो भी बंद कर देता है.
So Microsoft Defender, how is it safe?
It is working.